Oh, look at that. So good.
All right, we should be good.
Incredible. Well, I'll let you get started, my love.
All right. We are at August 15th. This is absolutely crazy to me. I keep seeing more and more people saying their kids are headed back into school. We have a couple more weeks for that, get your door to. All right, there we go. All right, so tonight we have a absolutely fabulous lineup here coming to you. We have been gone for a couple weeks, but that's really one of the things that we wanted to talk to you guys about is just the absolute blessing that LifeVantage and building this business can have for you. Michelle and I, early on when we started, we really didn't know what we had our hands on, but what we knew was we did not control our own calendars. And that was something we wanted to flip around. We worked our guts out for the first couple of years to get into the position that we controlled our calendar. And we have fortunately been able to, as our kids have grown up, made different choices than we would have if we would have stayed where we were prior. Michelle in the mortgage industry, me in the Citigroup world. So we just got back from a couple weeks off. Our oldest daughter, Callista, one of her wishes before she turned 18 was doing another Disney cruise. Because that's one of their passions is traveling, seeing the world, but they love Disney cruises, and we were able to book something, and it happened to be right before a trip that my mom had been planning for a couple of years to Belize with my side of the family. So we went from one trip to the next, but it isn't always, vacations that people are needing time off for. Sometimes it's life. And regardless where you are in life, we know that as humans, life can be messy. Things pop up that are very, very unexpected, and sometimes they're not super fun to deal with, but we have to deal with them. And being able to step away and take care of what life hands you is super important to us. And part of the community that we want to offer people is an environment where when they have to deal with what they have to deal with, they know that the things in LifeVantage are going to be taken care of. So, Michelle, real quick, I'll turn it over to you, and then we'll start having some of our guests come on. But right before I turn it over to you, I do want to point out, because I don't want to forget this, LVAs, you guys. If you are not registered for LVAs coming up this weekend yet, register for the nearest LVA to you. Or sign up for the virtual. So put in the comments if you're signed up already. If you are not signed up, give the commitment that you're going to sign up before the end of tonight. So Michelle, take it over.
Yeah, so excited in Sioux Falls. Here we are going to have Marisa Maggio Harrelson, Pro 8 out in Arizona. And she is somebody who I would absolutely travel to and for. So for all of you in the surrounding states, Iowa, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, all of those, come here. It's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. And as he said, all the other areas get there and virtual for sure. Remember, you do get 30 days of the virtual after you've gone to your LVA and whatnot as well. So that's always very exciting. But first of all, myself, I would just love, I know we have so many new people here, and I just really want to welcome you to the family. It is such a gift. We just got off of a beautiful welcome call, and it was so much, it was just, it fills my soul, because what we have here at LifeVantage is bigger than any of us can even comprehend. Sean and I doing this now for 11 years, my soul is just on fire even more from the first day that I started. And that's just mind blowing to me that you could be doing something that you're more passionate about even from the very beginning. So we just want to welcome you and let you know that we are all here for you. But it has been on our hearts, as Sean said, as we've been on this trip. And as dear friends of ours and business partners here, Sean and Troy Loggy, lost their mother this past week, and our daughter's boyfriend's grandmother is who that is as well. And, it's just life. And Stu Brody, who is on the Monday Motivational Calls, which I have to do a quick plug for that. If you didn't listen to it today, make sure that you listen to it. It's going out to all my customers, all the distributors. It's going out to any prospects, anybody that I've ever thought of. The call was mind blowing what college is doing on the inside of bodies. You guys put in the chat if you heard it, what you saw, what you heard, why everybody needs to listen to it and make sure that it's done. It was mind blowing. But Stu used to always say, we'll see you on the beaches of the world, when he got off a Monday motivational call. And when I joined, we had never done this before. And I'm like, oh, that would be nice. Oh, so cool. Okay. Yeah. But I always was like, oh, that would be so amazing. That would just be the coolest thing ever, to just be with that person somewhere in the beaches of the world. It just sounded like way out there. But then, you guys, it happened. And it happened through passion and just the desire to want to help people. And I would just remember the first time that I had that realization of, oh my gosh, like we are literally on the beaches of the world with Stu Brody and Carrie Dickey. Like we don't know anything. We never knew anything about network marketing. We never knew how to do this business. All we wanted to do when we joined this was we wanted to help people and just keep going and going and going. And so there was that realization. And then what happens when those things come is your vision builds. You're like, I can do this and I can do more and I can go bless more people. And there's more possibilities out there. And you just meet, it's the domino effect of it is so darn huge, you guys. But then during that time as well, my grandmother was very sick, very, very sick. She's my hero, one of my best friends. She's like she's just she was my everything. She's my angel. She's in heaven now, but she was my angel. And so you go through this time in Life Vantage where you go through these periods of belief building. And what happened during this time is I didn't know anybody except for who enrolled us when we first got into Life Vantage, Nikki Elsing. And suddenly I have Carrie Williams, Marie Williams. I think, Sean, you have to remind me if Carrie Dickey was here. And Carrie Dickey was, because I remember her talking about the dishes that Sean was leaving in our kitchen sink. And so I left and I went to go be with my grandmother and her last days. And there's a whole other story about me going to North Dakota. And that's when I first met John Jelinek and when my grandmother actually passed away. But when I went to go be with my grandmother, there was this realization of there are people here that are helping build a business and are growing a business while I'm with my angel, with my everything, with my heart and soul, the woman that helped raise me. And I have the support of people that don't even really know me, but I have a business growing and income coming in while I have to leave and step away. So there's just a lot of stories that come from that. So it's been on my heart, you guys, while we were gone because of Life Vantage. And while, our dear friends have lost their mom, and this happens. We have people, like Sean said, we're gonna lose loved ones. We're gonna go through hard times. We're gonna have spouses that lose jobs. We're gonna have times when, things just in life, COVID happens. But we're here as a family to help one another and to be able to have an income that continues to come in during those hard times is really powerful. So I just want to hear other stories from people. So Tanya, if you could take it over from here, that would be amazing, my girl.
Yes, I better take a drink quick. I felt really strong, but you know how it goes.
I know.
Yeah, just to share the power of leverage income and Life Vantage with you guys. Dang it, I felt so good.
You got it. Here we go, baby.
Yeah, Life Vantage and the income has filled the gap for me a few times. And I don't want to just give it to you from the viewpoint of a Pro 7 income. But even when we hit Pro 3, I remember my husband got laid off and we had to move to a new state. And moving to a new state, that Pro 3 income, I still will never, ever forget the phone call, Sean and Michelle calling me and telling me I hit Pro 3. And I was like walking on air. It was the most exciting time that I was making an additional $400 at that time for my family. And then when we had to move and my husband took a pay cut, that filled the gap. And I was so proud of myself for having that income. And then 6 years into our business, life just took us out in a really hard way. And I couldn't emotionally even sometimes show up on a Zoom and show my camera. I just didn't have it in me. So not only did the products help get me through, but to be able to step away and be with my family when they needed me most was such a huge blessing to have a leveraged income. At that time, it was between Pro 5 and Pro 6 was the income that was coming in. It was just peace of mind. And while you go through hard things, your body is going to feel it as well. And so even after going through that, I was able to make the choice to see the doctor I wanted to see, to take care of my body because of the way that it was kind of shutting down through the emotions of all of that. And then also just to have the ability, the emotional support of the people that show up for you. But I don't even know how to say this, but to call it what it is, a lawsuit. And we have to pay on this lawsuit until 2034. And it's a payment that I have to make every single month that drives me nuts, but I don't have to think twice about it. Like, I know that I can make it. And my goal is to pay it off before then by excelling in this business. But that is huge that I don't have to even think about it because of what I've created. And then the last thing I want to say, there's something I heard recently. You know, they say you may not always achieve your goals, but you're going to get the standards that you live by in your life. And there's this thing called the grandfather frame, where you look ahead, like through a grandfather's eyes, you look ahead to like when you're 85 years old. And you being 85, if you looked back to where you are today, right now, what is that going to look like for you when you look back? And for me right now, it's a 50-year-old frame. I'm going to be 50 in March. And I keep thinking about that woman that's 50 in March, and what is life going to be like for her? And what is she going to think of me right now? So I think I'm cutting it out. I'm so sorry. But I just want you to think ahead for those moments of right now and what you might need in life, and leveraging yourself and building up so that you in the future can look back and say, I'm so glad that I did what it took. And then I lived by such amazing standards so that I could set myself up to take care of my family and be where I needed to be in those moments when life hit the hardest.
Amazing. Thank you, Tanya. There are so many stories that Tanya could talk about for hours, literally, of how this I know has impacted her and our family. I'm just thinking of so many more while you're talking. I love you so much, sister. Amy Dippold.
Hey everyone. I hope you guys can hear me well in the car as well. Just let me know if I'm cutting out.
You're perfect.
So today's been absolutely insane and I've had hardly a minute to just sit down and even think about what to say, but just listening to this, it's like bringing up all the things, all the feels, right, Tanya? Like, oh, because you just kind of relive the journey you've been on. I joined LifeVantage in 2016, and actually we joined. My husband's standing outside because he didn't want to interrupt me seeing I was talking. And I had such little self-belief that I could do any of this. I signed up with the intention of my husband going and building this business. And I sent him to the first event saying, babe, you're going to do this. You're the salesperson. I'm just in social work. I just love people. And really gave myself zero credit and had zero belief. And when I look through this journey of just like taking a blind step forward and trusting what somebody was telling me and trusting the process and trusting like feeling the fear and doing it anyway and plugging into those calls, guys, I plugged into every single call that first year, literally. Like after I made the decision, after I found out my husband was going to go to the event, come back and not do it, I started plugging in, and I started to have these defining moments where it was like the Lord just opened my eyes a little bit more to the vision that he had for me, even though I didn't believe that it was possible. And, when I hit Pro 3, I was like, this was an accident. I didn't actually earn this. Like it was an accident, and I couldn't take credit for it. They wanted me to stand up, and I was like, no, like, I actually don't think I did this. And then when I hit Pro 5, I had more self-doubt, but I'll never forget when I had hit Pro 5 in the year of 2018, my grandmother also had been battling cancer for 7 years, and it had caught up to her. And I believe to my core that our products gave her a better quality of life and a longer quality of life than she would have without them. And I wish I had known about it earlier. And I'll never forget, guys, that it was the month of May, and I had 100% stepped away from my business and spent every moment I could with my grandmother. Oh. And I remember looking at my paycheck and it was bigger than it was the month before.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? How is this possible? How did this get created? How is this business running itself? I didn't touch it. I didn't plug into a single thing. And I just remember feeling like just so shredded, like all of the self-doubt, like just kind of washing away and saying, no, like the Lord is equipping me to do what he's called me to do. I don't have to understand all of it, but I just need to be faithful in doing this, because there's so many times that you will think that you're not able, that you don't think that you can figure this out. And honestly, you can't. You just need to take the next step forward. You need to trust the process. And I'm so thankful for all the times that I showed up when I really didn't want to, because now I look back and it's, that was 2018. So that's a few years later. And we just spent the entire summer in another state. We sold our home. We both lived in Minnesota and traveled, and we did all these things that we wanted to do for so many years. And now we're like planning for this next phase of life that's actually going to be really, really hard. Like with the school choice that we chose with our children, how we're going to educate them, what we plan to do with them. And it's like, the Lord is opening these doors, and I still don't know how it's going to happen, but it's happening. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so I just want to encourage you guys. You can't possibly see the vision of what the Lord is holding for you, but just keep taking that next step forward, because there's going to be those moments, those defining moments where your eyes just open up to that bigger vision that you could have imagined, and it's still unveiling. So,
oh, love you. Powerful. Amen. You're getting so much love here, Amy. Love you so much. Miss Isa, you're next. Amy, you are a force. I love you. Isa.
Hi guys, I'm here. Yes, I won't take too much time because I'm loving these stories from everyone, but I joined LifeVantage in almost 6 years ago. My gosh, this month. And about 2 years ago, my mom got sick. I was already a Pro 5 in LifeVantage, but I too completely stepped away. We had my mom living with us, and I was able to see her through hospice and her transition. And I just look at that time as I don't feel like I missed out at all. I felt like I was where I needed to be. And I knew that I had that assurance from all of you and from our company, just that this is what we do. This is the culture of the company. And this is why we have the systems in place. And had I had my brick and mortar businesses, I never would have been able to step away and still see my business grow, still see my team members growing, and still be, seeing my paycheck grow, to be quite honest. And I can't say enough about just this allowing us to be where we need to be. And to me, that's true freedom. It's not about a fancy car, a fancy house, or anything like that. That might come at some point if that speaks to us. But right now, it's about the choice of being where you need to be with those you love. So thank you, guys.
Amen, Isa. And, one of the blessings, you guys, is going through life with one another. And through these times with one another, and Isa, to be able to go through all that with you and your mom and whatnot, although it being very hard is a gift, and it's something that we cherish, to be able to lift each other up and hold each other up during times like this. And so that's something, especially for those of you that may be new, you're going to find here is such a gift. Sean Johnson, are you available? Gorgeous girl.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I loved everybody's stories there. I'm getting all weepy over here listening to everybody. Yeah, I guess for my story, when the thread started earlier today, it just really hit me that when I started in 2017, I was ignorance on fire. I was just so in love with this whole thing, and I saw the vision, and life has its bumps, and it's that personal development journey. And it's been amazing. One thing with Tanya, with Amy, with Michelle, with Marisa, with so many of you have touched my heart and pushed me and propelled me and been there, such a loving support throughout this whole thing. that, you know, it really is personal development disguised as network marketing. That it really is that whole journey, and having that support and love is unlike anything I've ever felt. And creating such a strong community. I have some of my closest friends. I see a lot of you more than I do even my own family. And even some of my closest friends, my best friends, that and all of you, we're just all on this beautiful journey together and building that network. And for me, I was in the food industry when COVID hit, and that was the worst 2 years of my life in a way of just having to focus and be in survive mode. And I didn't build the business. But I'll tell you, through that, I was grateful that I had the income that I had built while, you know, well, more around Pro 4 income, but still as my day job, in order to reduce the amount of people they had to cut, they cut everyone's salaries so that the company could stay afloat, truthfully. So having this supplement, what I had created to that point, was such a gift. It allowed me to still sustain and still survive. And then just the loving community of all of you just checking in, how's it going? Or just even being able to plug into events and have that love and support is unlike anything I've ever felt. It's gonna make me teary-eyed. I just love all of you so much. And I don't think I've ever quite recovered of getting my momentum back from those times off. And it's re-digging in and figuring out my why again. And I'm in that place, but I love this company. I love what this industry is, and I'm never leaving. And this is my home. It's just re-digging in and getting that momentum again. So I'm so beyond grateful for this gift of LifeVantage.
You radiate, sister. I love you so much.
Love you.
We have such a strong, beautiful connection. And those of you that have never met Sean, I can't wait for you to meet her at convention, because when you meet her, you just feel light, love, and just passion and excitement. And maybe you'll have to have her dance for you. She is a dancer, but do not let her fall on her head again. She has a great concussion story. But I love you. Thank you for that. So jobs, you guys, who do we all know who have had job, issues, the past couple of years, and who out there is searching and needing this? It's a real thing. So now we have Tracksuit Tom. Who was next? Mr. Tom Spaniel.
I did not make that name.
That would probably be my husband, Sean.
That was your husband. Can you hear me? I just picked my headphones out of my washer, so that was good. Yeah, so my name is Tom Spaniel. My wife, Alyssa, and I started in LifeVantage way back in 2014. And at the time, our story, I was a teacher and she was a nurse. And it made me think of, when I was thinking of what to say today, a simple but pretty profound quote. And that's, remember when you wanted what you currently have. Remember when you wanted what you currently have. And when we started back in 2014, like the first thing that besides some of the health stuff that we were going through and Alyssa was going through, was like, what I desperately wanted was to not be a full-time teacher anymore. I just desperately did not want to be doing that, waking up every single day, having these limited time slots. I can't travel the way I want to, things like that. And we can go on. And I just desperately wanted to be a more free-range human. And that's what this business has done for us. We've been so insanely fortunate. Pro 6 is making right under the Pro 6 income, and what that does, like, for you, I didn't understand passive income until it really starts to happen for you, and the choices that we were given, right, to walk away from some of those jobs to live the life we want to. Last year, we were able to, you talked about the beaches of the world. We've been able to travel a lot in the last few years, but last year we made it a commitment, because that was the other thing I just desperately was thinking about. And we left Minnesota in the cold of the winter, and we were gone for 4 months, spent 4 weeks or a month in Mexico. And then we headed west, and because I'm obsessed with skiing, and we went out west to Utah. And on the way there, we got to do awesome things with LifeVantage people, right? We stayed at your guys' house for 3 nights. We stayed at Mike and Des Mammoth's house. And it's just, and we saw the Sheldons on our way out west as well. We stayed at Tanya and Kyle's. And like, how cool to have all of that, to have the people, to have the travel, like these things that literally that's all I wanted, you know, thinking back to that quote, remember what you wanted, remember when you wanted what you currently have. And like, we just so desperately wanted that. And to have that reflection, to have that gratitude, to sit there and look like, wow, this is all due to LifeVantage. Yeah, remote work has changed a lot, and we can still, you know, work certain businesses remotely. But the reason we're able to do those things, the reason I'm able to have a more even open other business where I played pickleball twice today, once in the morning, once in the evening. The reason I have that flexibility is LifeVantage. And the reason we're able to be so comfortable is LifeVantage. It's been the one consistent thing always there for us when everything else can be a mess. When we complain about our other jobs, it's LifeVantage that's just the solid rock for us. And speaking of the people that we meet in this company that you get surrounded with, I mean, this is my mom's story to tell, but just some of you know her, like she's alive because of this company, just straight up alive because of who she's met when she has been going through different, you know, her different bouts of cancer, who she's been connected to just on this team and the things that they've led her to. I mean, we're talking life and death here. I mean, it's just amazing. And that's like I said, her story to tell, but it's like, I don't know where we'd be without this company in life. So I'm just so uberly grateful. And it's just amazing what it can do for you, you know, if you just put your head down and work it and let network marketing go to work, like Sean always says, or people say. When done right with the right people, network marketing is an incredible business model. And the more I get older and, you know, even try other businesses, you start to really realize how special it is and what we have here. And that's my tracksuit Tommy story.
Was that not beautiful? Can somebody write that into the comments, or Tom, can you're the quote again, because that's so powerful. We have to remember these things, you guys. We always talk about staying grounded, staying humble, remembering where you're from, remember where you started, you know, and going back and reflecting and pure gratitude constantly of all those things. But what you said is so beautiful. And it reminds me too, while we're talking about building this, and because things are going to come up and things are going to be there in life, you have got to celebrate. You have to celebrate, get out of your head. You know, the whole saying, get out of your head, you're dead. Right? You've got to celebrate sharing with somebody. You got to celebrate getting up in the morning and showering sometimes, right? You got to celebrate being on this Zoom tonight, taking the time because you deserve it, taking the time out of your schedule because you are learning to how to bless others, taking the time to really make a difference and deciding that it's going to happen. So Tom, you have such a powerful story, and I know there's so much more even to that, but thank you for sharing all of that and your mom's story. It's so powerful, so beautiful. And we're gonna be finishing out here on time, I think. Mia, and then if anybody else here, you guys can private text me, but Mia, I would love to hear your heart, sister.
Oh, thank you so much, everybody, for sharing your beautiful stories. You know, when this was shared with me, it was the week that we lost our mom 11 years ago. And Marie, that wasn't when it was shared with me. That's when it was shared with my sister, who then shared this with me pretty soon after that. And I will simply say that, you know, Marisa saw this. I didn't in the beginning. You know, I was a glorified product user. But why that was because that self-doubt that was mentioned, you know, we fear the things, as Cherise said in our call last week when she was sharing so beautifully the different ranks, we fear the things that we're not mature enough to handle. And I hate admitting that, but my background was in the performing arts. That's the world I knew. And then when I pivoted to this world, I was in my head about it. I had to stop telling myself that, you know, I didn't know what to do, or that people weren't going to take me seriously because this wasn't the way they knew me. So it was all my own self-talk that was stopping me. But what I will tell you is, when you see the greater vision of what this beautiful opportunity, this company, this culture, these people, when you see that and it touches your heart to the core, they become your family. I mean, I was one who always thought I would be a mom, and that was an uphill battle for me. I never really got to realize what that was like to give birth to a body, a person. But in this business, I'm learning how to give birth to giving people freedom. My cancer was never having time and not having enough money to do anything. And I hated living like that. And I felt like I was pushing this boulder up the hill for the longest time. Sometimes people would come on board, but people will quit on themselves. It's not that the business doesn't work. Winners never quit. Michelle told me that my first year. Winners never quit. Quitters never win. You can't quit. And now, you know, here we are on my vision board this year. It said Pro 5. It said Croatia. Those are things that are happening. Dawn and I are traveling the beaches of the world like we never have before. We're building our freedom. We're transforming our lives into one of freedom and happiness. And this family is like home to us. They are our family. And I know he's on here. And I would just like him to be able to wrap up my portion so that he can share his heart. Because having him join me is a dream come true. And it's not something that I did. It was attending an event and seeing the heart and soul of these people. So, honey, anything you want to share?
Yes, hello. Can everybody hear me? I'm driving. I'm sorry.
We can, Dawn.
Sorry that I cannot have my camera on, but it's been a busy day of rehearsals. I didn't even think I'd be able to get on here. So I'm very grateful to be here. And let me just, I know we're at the end of our time. Let me just quickly say that, I mean, Life Vantage has been a gift that just took me by storm and by surprise, just because of the incredible heart of the people that are just here to make a difference for mankind. Just recently, a prospect I was trying to share this with felt like I was just trying to sell him something. And I thought to myself, you know, I'm not trying to make, I didn't say this to him, but I clarified in myself, I'm not trying to make a sale. I'm here to make a difference. And isn't that what we're all here for? And as far as this wonderful thing that Stu Brody always says on our Carrie Dickey calls, you know, see you on the beaches of the world. I was thinking today, and I shared with some of our leaders that, you know, we might think, oh, sure, maybe sometime when I'm, you know, hitting it big with Life Vantage, I'm a Pro 9, 8, 9, 10, sure, I can see you on the beaches of the world. But this is about giving our consent in our hearts. It's not about, you know, doing the math on how much money we're making. It's about blessing lives and changing lives and making that commitment inside yourself that you are here, you are present, you want to make this difference, you want to make people more healthy, you want to help them live better lives financially, and you just can't outline what's possible. As Mia said, Mia and I have already, and we're just at Pro 5, we've already seen beaches of the world that we never imagined we'd see. Just a few years ago, I didn't even feel like I didn't know when I'd next get on an airplane. I was so hunkered down, just trying to work and make ends meet. And now it's like, it seems like we're packing our bags every 3 months or something. And so we're just so incredibly grateful for the blessings that Life Vantage has brought to us and that we're able to bring to others.
I love it.
Love you, Dawn. Love you. And I know, Tanya, you had one last thing you wanted to share.
Yeah, in hearing all these, I just want to remind everybody, like, no one is saying, just don't allow, when life hits you hard, don't allow it to become your excuse. Allow it to become like that driving force that moves you forward. And you have to keep showing up, because by showing up today, you're showing up for your future circumstances that are going to hit. And then that's why, and that's how you create that business, and you create this place of love that when you're not present and you can't be there, your team shows up. And then, like Amy said, your check grows because you were always there and you were always showing up and they saw it. So lead by example today so that you can create what you need when circumstances hit the hardest.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody that was sharing today. If you did not get the opportunity to share your story and you want to, I would jump on and do a Facebook Live and share it with the world. Share the differences that LifeVantage has made in your life, whether it's on the financial side, it's on the health side, it's on both sides. It gives you ears like Tanya was doing there. I love it. I love it. But we really want each and every one of you guys to truly just live the life that you dream to live. Regardless what that looks like to you. Do it right, do it fun. We're different, we're special, and we are so happy to be back and with you on another Monday. So we can't wait to see what the end of August brings to each and every one of you. Remember to sign up for LVA.
LVA.
Sign up
and
for
listen.
LVA.
And listen to the Carrie Dickey call if you have not yet today. Listen to it tonight. It was like 35, 40 minutes or so, and it's powerful. It's a must. Trust me. Sorry, Sean Pope.
If you have not signed up for Global, make sure you sign up for Global so we can see all of the rank advancements that are happening. Walk across the stage as we head to Phoenix, Arizona in October. So we have 2 months left to get you where you want to be for Phoenix. So you guys have an amazing, amazing week. We are done with this Monday night call.
Yeah, who drank their collagen today? Woo! Bottoms up. All right, love you guys so darn much. Thank you, everybody. Remember, your story matters and you need to share that, okay? All right, love you. Good night.